why do staff join an organization and why do staff leave an organization? And when you look at all those factors, a lot of times they're the same. People are joining an organization and there are certain expectations and there are certain things that you talk about at that point. Obviously compensation is a part of that and benefits, but flexibility and culture are very important to people. And then ultimately when people leave an organization, they're usually leaving because they have a better opportunity where they feel that there's a culture that they can fit in better with, or they can have something where they have better benefits or they have more flexibility. So when you're looking at all of those factors, they're relatively the same. And then ultimately, when you're trying to make a decision about how we're going to maintain our staff, how we're going to onboard our staff, how we're going to keep our staff, it's making sure that we're living up to what we've advertised and what we recruited for. So retention is a factor of everything that's involved in making an employee want to be with your organization and buy in and trust your organization and believe in your leadership and believe in who you are. Why do you say yes to an employee more than saying no? So when you're looking at it as a whole, employees are asking questions. Employees want information. Employees want to be able to do things. They're the ones that are living and breathing every day what we want them to do. So when they're asking questions and we look at it, saying yes empowers them. It gives them that we're on the same page, that we're looking to help them in their job, not hurt them in their job. And how do you kind of build that relationship between management and the employees is they're going to come to us. We're going to encourage them to come to us. And by saying yes, they're the ones that are doing those jobs. They're the ones that figure out where those roadblocks are. Those are the ones that figure out what needs to be done to get those jobs done. It's all about building trust, and saying yes is one of those avenues to do that. Building trust between management and employees is the most important thing in an organization. Having information flow back and forth between up and down a variety of levels, and being able to have that understanding that you're going to be able to work with an employee, or the employee is going to be able to work with management to bridge those gaps when trust isn't there, to make sure that we can start building on that trust, is unbelievably important. So if you take, for example, you're looking at an entire organization, and when there's not trust there are people talking in silos over here, and there are people talking silos here. Those things are never being bubbled up. Building a culture of trust and openness is the most important thing on the health of an organization. When you're looking at a healthy organization, it's one that information is flowing freely up and down. We do surveys, and we do surveys quite frequently, probably I'd say every 6 months. And those surveys ask some hard-hitting questions. And those questions have to be looked at and say, where are we falling down as a management team that we have to kind of continue to build that trust with our employees? We do exit interviews, obviously, with staff. Now we're starting out on surveys on staff that are coming into the organization or have been here for 3 months. Are we living up to what we've told them that we wanted to live up to? And then ultimately, does that continue to build those trust and break down those silos? It's all about getting information, and you can't act unless you have it. When someone comes to an organization, they accept the current rate, they accept the current situation, they understand their current position they're going in. But people have ambitions, and people understand that they want a future. And what does that future look like within the organization currently? And it's very important as a management team for us to make sure that that future is available to them, for people who want to expand their horizon and kind of continue to grow with the organization. So we do several things. One of the most important things that we do is we recognize the need for education. And we have a very robust tuition reimbursement program that we spend a lot of money on, and employees have free access to. And ultimately that allows them to continue to grow their education there. But also internally, what do we have? And we have different levels in the same type of category. For example, a mental health counselor might be a mental health counselor 1, might be a mental health counselor 2. And after they reach certain steps in not only their education, but in their advanced career and experience, they can move up through those steps. We are pushing currently for big advancements from people that go from non-clinical degree positions to clinical positions, and we're looking at career ladders that will allow them to do that. It's very important when you're looking at keeping an employee, maintaining an employee, retaining an employee, that you're looking at things that are, how visible are we to an employee to say, where am I in 5 years? Am I with this organization? So having the other piece that's very important is having compensation visibility. And we're building that into our system so an employee can say, well, here's where I'm at now, here's where I will be in a year, here's where I will be in 2 years, both in this position and in another position. Openness and visibility is what's needed to kind of build that. We talked about trust earlier, but in addition to that, people have their own motives and means for doing what they want to do, and making sure that we're a part of that is very important, and having all these options available to them. Hopefully we're a part of their future. And that's very important to us as an organization. The differences for us recruiting in a mental health field versus competing with every other type of general hospital that's out there are huge. First of all, obviously, just take the factors that people coming into our organization have to understand what they're coming into, and ultimately how they can succeed here, and what that environment looks like is different. Everyone knows what a medical surgical floor is in the healthcare industry and what you're dealing with there, but not everyone knows what you're dealing with when you come into a mental health hospital. So being transparent with people that are coming in and showing them this is what it looks like and how it is on a day-to-day basis here is very important. And you're competing with, here is the unknown, there a lot of times is known. So getting those two pieces to come together and say, yeah, it might be unknown, but you know something, you're doing good, and here's where you're doing good, and here's how you're doing it, is very important on our end. You can truly affect someone's life being in a mental health hospital. And we promote that. You're making a difference every single day with the people that are coming in. And you're a part of something that is bigger than yourself. And it's a great thing to be a part of. I think we talk at TaraVista that since we've opened in 2016, we've seen over 20 to 25,000 patients. We've affected their lives like you could never do at a regular general hospital. We have affected their mental well-being. We've allowed them to continue in their education, continue in their careers, continue with their families. And that's something to be very proud of. And that's something that we do talk about very openly with our staff. It started with orientation with our CEO presenting and the effects that we have, and it kind of continues through our culture.